Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports Talk. Y'all know my name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. And welcome to the first recap video of the college football season. That's right, we're going over the limited games of week 0. And since I did mention 4 games, so I'll recap those 4 games for you. And also, we'll end up doing our first Eliminator. That's right. I'll go ahead and get rid of schools already, and this is only the first game of the season. But you know, certain ones that are in the group of 5 probably won't be considered for the playoffs, anyways. And this is just to get rid of the playoff bodies. So before I dive into all that action, if you could go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me, especially like content to provide you. It really pleases you two guys to help promote this channel out. You also subscribe. A lot of you guys review my work. I love you all for doing that. Now, maybe subscribe. This costs you a dime. It helps me provide more entertainment value for you. Now, let's go ahead and go back over the week 0 highlights and whatnot. And we're going to start off with the first game of the 2022 college football season. Peay visiting Western Kentucky. Now, I thought this was going to be a runaway by the Hilltoppers, and not so much. Now, Western Kentucky did put up the first points of the season when Reed completed a pass to Corley for a 16-yard touchdown, which were the first points of the college football season. However, Austin Peay came back and actually took a quick 10-7 lead after the end of the first. But after that, it was all Western Kentucky as they continued to kind of, they stretched their lead at halftime. Coming back, Austin Peay came right back within 1 in the start of the third. I mean, they had that touchdown towards the end of the first half to cut the lead to 4. Then they get that a 49-yard field goal, bring it within 1. But then after that, it was just all Western Kentucky and just didn't really make it close out of that, even though the score was 38-27, Western Kentucky over Austin Peay. But outside the first quarter, it wasn't much of a contest. And you see Reed having 280 yards with 4 TDs and a pick. The highlight is Davis, 124 yards receiving with a touchdown. Corley had 3 TDs, so looks like the Hilltoppers are going to make some noise in the Conference USA, and we'll kind of see how things play out from there in terms of these guys. On the docket will be the showdown in Dublin. That's right. Football is back in Ireland, and kicked it off with Big Ten play as Nebraska visited Northwestern. Nebraska got a lot of poise to kind of say, hey, they're going to win this one. I predicted Nebraska to win this one. And boy, oh boy, weren't we all wrong. I mean, Nebraska started off early, started off quick. I mean, got up to a 14-3 lead, and it looked like, okay, maybe things are starting to turn around for Nebraska. But then a ill-advised onside kick just flipped the script. They gave Northwestern a huge advantage, and they were able to strike quick with quite a couple scores to really, take the edge. And at the halftime at 17-14, and just didn't really look back. I mean, it was a good contest because Nebraska was able to come back and then quickly grab 2 more touchdowns really quick to really get a nice lead, and then all of a sudden there comes Northwestern again. It's just these one-score games has been Scott Frost's Achilles heel. Coaching at Nebraska has been his Achilles heel. He has not been good since he's been there, and his seat is burning. I don't think Scott Frost is going to make it to the end of the season. There was just so much that going in there, but we'll kind of see how it goes on from here. As Northwestern ended up squeaking past Nebraska with a late interception to beat the Cornhuskers 31-28 in their Ireland-themed helmets. In case you didn't watch this game, they actually had the Irish flag embedded in the white of the N on the Northwestern helmets. So And then he put the Wildcats in the back. Was kind of a little bit of a Gaelic style in terms of the English lettering. So pretty good with that aspect. But Thompson from Nebraska looked pretty good. Had 355 yards. He did have 2 picks. He did look uncomfortable quite a bit, and that's a confidence issue that really have to correct and adjust the passing game accordingly. Helsinki was for the Wildcats 313 yards for 2 TDs. He just looked phenomenal. Hall for Wildcats rusher at 119 yards with a TD. Porter's right behind him with 94 yards with a touchdown. So a 2-headed monster in the backfield for Wildcats should create some havoc in the Big Ten. Grant had 100 yards for the Huskers with 2 touchdowns. So I think both these schools will probably find a way to be nice middle of the pack, maybe sniffing the top. I don't think Nebraska will be quite there. Maybe Northwestern. I just think there's too much Wisconsin, Iowa in that division to really kind of worry about anything. Receiving wise, Garcia Castaneda had 120 yards on a TD for the Huskers, while Washington had 97 yards for the Wildcats. And it was just a good battle back and forth between these two, and we'll just kind of see how this plays out through the rest of the season. But beyond that aspect, I would not eliminate Nebraska. It's only a 3-point loss, and depending on how the rest of their season goes, depends whether or not they get eliminated. I coming up, taking on Wyoming, which is not a team really to take lightly either. Illinois seems to do that a lot. They did it last year against UTSA, and look what happened. But they decided to grab the OC from the Roadrunners and bring them to Champaign to bring that offense in, and it looks like DeVito starting to thrive a little bit, and Chase Brown is like going to be a good candidate for some of the running back accolades at the end of the year. He had 151 yards on the ground, 2 TDs, and he caught a touchdown. So he's going to be a phenomenal part of that offense. DeVito himself, passing-wise, not that great, only 192 yards, but 2 touchdowns, just very efficient in doing that. Some of the downsides for the Illini are the kicking game, where the kicker did miss a few chip shots for field goals. So that's something you have to kind of watch out for them. And then penalties. They had a few costly penalties in there that were just players not being disciplined enough. So just stupid penalties by the Illini. But the defense stepped up when they had to. They had a bend, don't break mentality. Only coughed up 6 points. So hats off to the Illini defense on that one. No, it is Wyoming. It is Mountain West. And Illinois probably won't be that good either. The Big Ten's too top-heavy, so they'd be lucky if they can sniff a bowl. We'll see how that one kind of turns out. So, but the Illini ended up winning 38-6, and having me going 2-1 thus far. The final game I kind of reviewed is Vanderbilt at Hawaii. As the last game of the season, last game of the week. Wow. Just started, now we're talking about the end of the season. But Hawaii still hasn't built their new facility yet, so they're playing on their the sport complex, which is not really designed for football, so not a lot of the fans are there. And with this one, I was kind of giving it Hawaii because I wasn't too sure about the Vanderbilt yet. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Hawaii came out smoking first, get that first touchdown, but after that, it was all Vandy all day long. And they just crushed the Warriors 63-10. Hit when Parsons was trying to make a nice run. And then he got Worship smacked him right in the right spot, right where the ball's at. The ball comes flying out, so fumble-aya. Orgy picks it up for a 28-yard touchdown. Just literally seconds after they've already scored. So that was kind of letting you know that these guys are going to be pretty good. And Orgy was just a ball hawk. Anywhere that the ball was, he was at. And we'll kind of see how this play will get their aspects will be through the rest of the season, especially during the stint of SEC play, because it's going to be a different mindset when you start taking on teams like Kentucky and Tennessee and Florida and Georgia and South Carolina. If they have the same mentality going into there. But way Vanderbilt played in this game, they looked really good. But we'll kind of, I'm not going to give them too much praise as of right now, so you got to kind of see how the rest of the season plays out. But if they can continue this type of play, they'll be a surprise team out of SEC. But once again, just kind of pump the brakes on this one a bit. But for Hawaii, they will be eliminated. Now we'll kind of go over my eliminator. I've already got rid of one already. There's actually a couple of them that kind of do. Now with my eliminator sections, I'm just kind of going to throw up the schools are pretty much in alphabetical order. So I didn't put them by conferences. So this first group, I'm going to start with A through E's, and the first one on here is going to be eliminated with the Charlotte 49ers after losing to FAU. That's it. Their chances of making the playoffs or any type of deep run is already over. This group, only James Madison will be eliminated. That's right. James Madison is now in the FBS. Thanks to the Colonials' actions to kind of say, no, you're not going to be eligible for any championships this upcoming athletic season. James Madison goes, all right, we're leaving now. And they just went ahead and jumped up. So since they are transitioning, they are not eligible for the playoffs, but we'll see if they can. Technically not really available for a bowl, but we'll kind of see what happens. They'll be like the wild card when it comes to that one. I think James Madison could be very efficient in that aspect. Now the next group here, you're not really going to see too many problems with this group here, except for New Mexico State. I think everyone kind of knew that one. Losing the home to Nevada. We'll kind of take the guesswork out of your season, and no one really had high hopes, really, I think, for the Aggies. So here, nothing yet, but like I said, the season just started. And here you go ahead and knock out UTEP and UConn, both of them losing. UTEP, I think, was a bit of a surprise, but North Texas is a decent program as well. I think UTEP was a surprise team last year, so they're going to sneak up on anyone this year. So with that being said, and UConn, well, it's UConn. In this group here, go ahead and knock out Wyoming after getting obliterated by the Illini. I don't see them doing anything else, even if they run the gambit and win the Mountain West. They're not making the playoffs. The best they can do is New York 6, and I don't see that one happening. And that's it. That is week 0 in a nutshell with a little snippet of the Eliminator. Gonna see how this one kind of pans out. So with these week 0 games, like I said, there wasn't many that really tickle a lot of fancies. Unless you like Big Ten football, then you're very happy. But it wasn't really many marquee matchups. That's coming up this weekend. And even though there's a Thursday night games, I won't get my picks out until that Friday. So unfortunately, I won't be able to cover that backyard brawl. Which, I really look forward to, because that's just one of those games that you always want to see happen. You always want it in the year, but they finally got it playing this year, so it is what it is. It's a Thursday game for the college football. I don't normally preview those games. Another key Thursday ones, Penn State and Purdue. They'll be missing out, so but there's plenty of games Friday night and Saturday that I can go over, and that I will do. Just let me know down below what some of the takeaways you had from week 0, if any. As y'all know, my picks for the national champ might be slightly different than what a lot of people think. I do have some doozies out there for my Final Four, you could say. But hey, so let me know what you think. And while you're there, leaving a comment, you can also hit that thumbs up once again. You can also share this video with friends and family. It really helps promote this channel out. Once you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification. I'll let you know next time I post a video. And I'll see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.